What's up, guys? Welcome to the Driven Not Given podcast. And in today's podcast, I'm going to get into the movie review of The Sound of Freedom, but not only the movie review, a lot of very interesting things that are happening right now with this movie. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go through some very interesting things that are happening with this movie. Listen, make this one thing clear. It is an absolute fact, an undeniable fact that the mainstream media, especially as always, those scumbags on the left, they're trying to censor this. They're trying to make it seem like, hey, this is a bunch of rubbish, you know, as I guess British people say that. I'm not sure who says that, right? And it's no good. So you want to make sure that you don't watch it, basically. They're just trying to downplay what's happening. So before we get into that, I'm going to give you some numbers here, okay? Disney used to own the rights to this film for 5 years with no intention of releasing it. For 5 years, they owned the rights to it. They didn't release it. Then Angel Studios went ahead and bought those rights. They took it to Amazon. It got rejected. They took it to Netflix. It got rejected. Okay. So what they ended up doing is that they ended up pre-selling this, and they were able pre-selling the tickets, and they were able to get it into 2,600 studios. Okay. We're going to talk about theaters. We're going to talk about that. Very interesting here. On July 4th is when this movie came out. At the same time, Indiana Jones came out July 4th weekend. It's July 4th weekend. Indiana Jones' budget was $294.7 million. The budget for Sound of Freedom was $15 million. Significantly less, right? About 5% of Indiana Jones' budget. Indiana Jones was released in 4,600 theaters. 4,600 theaters versus 2,600, right? So 2,000 theaters more. Over 4,600 theaters, Indiana Jones collected over the weekend, over the 4th of July weekend, $11.5 million. Sound of Freedom, $14 million during that same time. The information is getting out there. People are doing this. Now, I'm going to show you guys a clip, though. Here's something that's happening. People are going to go see this movie, and their tickets are getting refunded. They weren't told that their tickets were going to get refunded, but they're getting refunded. Then some of these people are calling, and they're asking, hey, why are my tickets refunded? Oh, it's because the AC is not working. What's magical about this, is that a lot of these theaters, and what I hear a lot is AMC theaters, are constantly making people not want to watch the movie. Sometimes you got stories where the AC is not working, where the lights are on. In a movie theater, the lights are always off. Well, they happen to be on. The AC may not be working there, but it's working in the theaters next door. Indiana Jones' AC is working. It's always in only one of the studios, only one of the rooms, versus it being able to be put in all these other rooms, right? So a lot of funny things are happening. So I'm going to show you guys some of the clips of some of these people and what they're claiming is happening at these movie theaters. So let's take a look at this clip.
Conditioning in our theaters. There was air conditioning in the lobby. There was air conditioning in the hallways. There was air conditioning in the bathrooms. Not in the theaters. I smell something stinky.
First off, the AC was out. Like, as soon as we walked into the theater, it was hot as heck.
I
The
literally
AC
brought a
was out.
sweatshirt and I was like sweating.
And then we realized, like, it took us a while to actually realize it, but they didn't turn the lights off.
They literally had the lights
They
on.
kept the lights on the entire movie.
Who does that?
So as you can see, there's a whole lot of people that are saying the same thing. And this is across the nation, right? This is in North Carolina. This is in California. This is in Texas. This is all over the place. And the AC is not working. Matter of fact, some people are saying that the AC wasn't working. Not only was AC not working, but it felt like they had the heater on. A lot of people are saying that it wasn't working. The AC wasn't working. And they left the lights on in the room. Was that broken as well? Was the switch to the lights broken? It is so incredibly obvious that they're trying to sabotage, and who doesn't want this information to get out there? Now, that's a question I ask for this setup. So for example, let's look at something here. The Rolling Stones, right? The Rolling Stones says that this movie, Sound of Freedom, is for dads with brainworms, right? So here's a link right here. Then you've got The Guardian. What is The Guardian saying? It's the QAnon adjacent thriller seducing America, right? So they're making it seem like it's just a bunch of conspiracy theories. You know what's funny about conspiracy theories? I saw somebody make a post the other day. Let's not call it a conspiracy theory anymore. Let's call it a spoiler alert. It's the same conspiracy theories that were saying things about, you know, that secret, you know, something that you get that was bad for you. Now, guess what? They just came out and said, hey, turns out it was pretty bad for you, right? Turns out this was true. Turns out that masks didn't really work. And this is what's happening right now. And it's very clear that they're trying to stop it. Another thing that happened in California, Gavin Newsom, what did he do? They just stopped the bill. Democrats in California just stopped the bill that would put child traffickers in prison for life. I would love for somebody to explain to me what is the mindset behind that. Child traffickers, oh, we don't want them to go to jail for life. That's not the answer. So what is the answer? You know, all of these conspiracy theories people are talking about, hey, man, there's this thing that's happening. A lot of these famous politicians, a lot of these people in Hollywood, they're involved in these things, and they're over here trying to downplay it. I mean, just these people are the scum of the earth, right? So it's just a couple of things that I want you guys to keep in mind. So the cool thing about this movie is that they have a pay it forward feature. You could literally go and watch this movie for free. And I recommend that more and more people go and watch this movie. It's a very heavy movie. It's a very hard movie to watch, but it is very important that people are aware. And there's a lot of groups causing a huge awakening with a lot of people that I think is very important, especially if you have kids watching this movie. Not only will it be very hard to watch, but it'll also make you understand the realities of what's happening. This is exposing stuff that are actually happening. Child trafficking is a #1 crime in the world. And America, they say, is a #1 place for this thing to happen. A lot of this open border stuff, a lot of those kids that show up without parents because their parents are sending them to this country for a better life, guess what? They're going missing, man. 84, I think it was 85,000 kids ended up going missing. They have no idea where they're at. This is not happening by accident. This is a real problem and people need to know about it. So I have a small voice. But if you gather a lot of people with a small voice that are talking about it and bringing this to the forefront, look at what's happening again. They're trying to stop it with the media. They're trying to stop it at the movie theaters. Why? Because clearly they don't want it to get out. I mean, listen, without getting more political than I've already gotten, connect the dots. If you start to pay attention, you start to connect the dots, man. Here's one thing I know. If somebody on the left gets elected in America again, look at how much we've changed, how much this country's changed in the last 3 years. It's gonna be horrendous if another left-wing person gets elected in office in 2024. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it will. But anyways, just kind of going off track here. One last thing I want to mention. I'm gonna link a video in the description here. As I started this video by saying that Disney owned the rights for 5 years with no plans on releasing it until Angel Studios bought it out, right? Look what Disney is doing. They're indoctrinating your kids, man. Look at all of those videos exposing a lot of the things about their cartoons that they've been doing for years to sexualize children. Look what's happening at Disneyland, man. They got a transgender person, a man dressed up as a woman, you know, catering to kids and welcoming kids. Disney is after your children. The school system now, public schools especially, are after your children. Look at the garbage that they're teaching them. And if they get the children, they've got the future. That's why they're doing it, man. I always say this, but if you see young adults that go to a university or a college, they come out socialist, man, straight up socialist. So anyways, wanted to do this short video on this particular movie. In my opinion, it is the most powerful movie that anybody around the world can watch. This information needs to be exposed. I'm doing my part. Leave in the comments if you guys experience, #1, if you guys experience any problems trying to watch this movie, and #2, what are your thoughts on the movie itself? So with that being said, I'll see you guys at the top or from the top. Take care.